There's this kind of a top-down approach and a bottom-up approach. Okay. The top-down approach is where you try to think of everything beforehand and you try to identify every possible circumstance that can happen. And you say, for example, an employment dispute comes up, right? Starts off, pretty typical, maybe, I don't know, a discrimination lawsuit. And it starts off typical. And you could say, listen, if, under a typical scenario, we'll need this many associates for this amount of time. We will probably need this many depositions. And then you can start building up a list of things and you kind of try to price things out according to each bucket. That's kind of one approach. It's very, very difficult. It's great to do that approach, but it's difficult to do that approach because it's hard to think of every possible thing that can happen. It's possible to do that. And I think eventually folks want to get there, but you don't start there. So instead, there's another approach, which is the bottom up approach. All right. If the top down is really, first think about everything and then kind of try to model everything. The bottom up approach tries to model nothing. All right. And what it says is, instead of trying to figure out the price of every single individual thing, how about we just look at how much we billed for similar things in the past? All right. And the bottom, it's similar to a way a real estate property appraiser would appraise property, excuse me. So what they would do is they would go and find comps, similar cases, and they would say, listen, here's 3 other cases that are very similar to the one that you're trying to sell. And they sold for this much, this much, and this much. And so effectively, that's our approach. That's LexPipe's approach. It's a bottom up approach. And what we try to do is we go through the firm's entire old matters and we identify how much they billed for things in the past, rather than kind of going forward, top down, we're trying to start bottom up. The way that we approach this is really as a data challenge. It's really about getting all of those cases together in a single place so that you can compare them properly.